I'm Raging Amish, and welcome to the Specialist Kill Streak package of Modern Warfare 3. I just want to make this clear up front, I don't consider this a review, but more of a tip-based video. I am not going to mix in clips to try to make you guys laugh. Instead, I want to put facts out there because I have seen a lot of YouTubers, both big and small, trying to cover this particular subject. The problem is I haven't seen anyone get it right, at least not yet. It's entirely possible someone has voiced my opinion already. If that's the case, I just haven't seen that video yet. This video has been hotly requested anyway, so the time just seems right to put this out there. I'm going to voice my opinion for how to use the Specialist Killstreak package, and more importantly, how you should mix in Hardline, if at all. To start off, here's the baseline. For the majority of you, I know this isn't news, so bear with me. When playing with the Specialist setup, you start off with 3 perks of your choice. In this example, I chose Sleight of Hand, Quick Draw, and Sit Rep. With 2 kills, you get a 4th perk. With 4 kills, you get a 5th perk. With 6 kills, you get a 6th perk. And with 8 kills, you unlock the Specialist bonus. I have never touched on the Specialist bonus before, so I'm going to do a quick rundown. When unlocked, you get every perk in the game, and every proficiency, minus damage, 2 attachments, and breath. Yes, that does mean you can get range on guns like the assault rifles and the LMGs. This also means your secondaries can get bonuses like kick and focus. Here's one sad fact though, if you don't have the pro version of a perk already unlocked, you will not get that particular pro perk with the Specialist bonus. The game goes strictly by what you have already unlocked. With that said, I just want to make something perfectly clear. The standard Specialist setup is 100% fine and quite powerful. If this is the way you want to play, then by all means enjoy. I have a few classes where I do play with the standard setup and it works well. The main advantage with rolling this way is you get 6 perks at 6 kills. By this point in your kill streak, you arguably don't need the Specialist bonus. You already have your 6 perks of choice. If you do get the Specialist bonus, it's a luxury more than anything else. Still, here's where things get complicated. How or do you mix in Hardline? I have heard a lot of opinions on how to use this perk. In my eyes, you're limited to 4 options. You can select it by default as your starting red perk, or you can use it as your first, second, or third Specialist Killstreak option. Right up front, I'm going to rule out using Hardline in the first or second slot. In my opinion, you gain very little by using Hardline in this particular way, so little that I'm not going to address it. With that said, this brings me to your first potential setup, using Hardline in the third Specialist slot. Just in case anybody's wondering, I have chosen to cover this setup first strictly because the logic here is far simpler than with using Hardline out the gate. For this particular example, I have chosen Sleight of Hand, Quick Draw, and Sit Rep as my starting perks. Assassin and Blind Eye make up my first and second kill streaks. Hardline is my third streak. So, why should you use this setup? Well, have you ever wondered why the Hardline challenge is called Just One More? The idea is to get 6 kills and then with your 7th, you have the Specialist bonus. Here's what it comes down to in terms of gameplay. Imagine that you have just reached a 6 kill streak. The next step is the Specialist bonus. Would you rather grind out 2 more kills with 6 perks, or will you take your chances to get 1 more kill with 5 perks? I'll be honest, I like taking the gamble. That's why you will see me using this setup a lot. Now we move on to the controversy, using Hardline as your starting red perk. In this particular example, I have chosen Sleight of Hand, Hardline, and Sit Rep as my starting perks. Assassin, Blind Eye, and Scavenger are my kill streaks. Many people tend to avoid playing this way, and I can understand why. You start with 2 perks, or at least that's the argument I hear. I'll be honest, I don't entirely agree with that assessment, but this is what I think people are seeing. At 1 kill, you have 3 perks. At 3 kills, you have 4 perks. At 5 kills, you have 5 perks. And at 7 kills, you get the Specialist bonus. Here's the problem. When compared to the standard setup or the Hardline third slot option, it would appear you are gimping yourself with fewer perks. I've heard so many people say using Hardline as your first red perk is a waste. I'll be honest, I don't agree. Here's what people don't take into account, and I can explain it in 2 words. Hardline Pro. I am very surprised by the number of people who immediately disregard the fact that Hardline has a pro version. For every 2 assists that you get, Hardline Pro gives you a point for your point streak. This can be especially powerful in objective game modes like Domination. Use flash grenades in the Recon perk. You can potentially get the Specialist bonus without ever killing an opponent. Also, here's something else that a lot of people seem to disregard. If you had an assist before you died, that carries over to your next life. This means with a new spawn, you can get an assist and bam, you've already got a point for your point streak. Plus, you can't forget, you are still getting the Specialist bonus at 7 kills. I understand that some people will value this more than others. Me, I love it. If you don't, well, that's fine. Still, while we're at it, here's something else. With Hardline, you can mix together 2 yellow or 2 blue perks of your choice with just 1 kill. I cannot tell you how powerful a tool it is to mix together some combination of Sitrep, Dead Silence, Steady Aim, Stalker, and Marksman. Same story goes for the blue tier. If you design your class properly, the specialist kill streaks can give you a very powerful combo with just 1 kill. My point is simple, with the specialist kill streaks, picking Hardline to start is not a bad choice. Remember, you do have to adjust your playstyle a bit. That's what people seem to forget and why I've made this video. Hardline can mix with the specialist package, and it can mix well. You just have to design your class properly. That concludes what I have to say about this topic. Maybe Hardline will fit with your playstyle, maybe it won't. As for me, yeah, I do use Hardline from time to time. I run the specialist setup probably around 95% of the time I play. I just love it so much. Many people have been asking to see this, so before I go, I'll show you some of my personal favorite setups. As for this video, I hope you enjoyed and that you'll join me next time. Until then, this is Raging Amish, checking out.